In the mid-90s, Sony gave us a movie franchise called Anaconda that eventually became Sci-Fi Channel slop.
Yep.
And in 2025, we're for some reason returning to the world of Anaconda, brought to us by the guy who directed The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which, if you've seen Anaconda, makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
Connor, what's the plot of Anaconda?
Anaconda is not really a reboot of Anaconda. It's kind of a mashup of two Sony Pictures movies. I'm pretty sure the other one's Sony Pictures. We're saying it is. Tropic Thunder and Anaconda.
Yep.
Jack Black and Paul Rudd, playing Jack Black and Paul Rudd, are friends and one's an actor, one's a director. They grew up making weird movies, kind of American movie style, or Be Kind Rewind style.
Yep.
Which also stars Jack Black.
Yep.
And also feels like a mid-2000s movie. That also makes this feel like a mid-2000s movie. Whatever. They want to make a movie, so they go to the Amazon jungle with a couple of friends to create their Anaconda movie. One friend is a crazy alcoholic drug addict man. The other is the co-actress lady who's the love interest to Paul Rudd. And they go around with a gold smuggler. And kind of like Tropic Thunder, the movie goes wrong. Turns out there's a real Anaconda reboot. And Paul Rudd didn't have the rights to Anaconda and just made it up. And they have to survive the true Anaconda, which happens to be out in the wilderness as Sony shoots their rival Anaconda that's legal, and their fake Anaconda, and they hope to survive. So Aiden, what did you think of Anaconda?
Anaconda was decent fun. Right after Connor said the Tropic Thunder thing, I was like, oh yeah, this is just Tropic Thunder. And also, it's not Tropic Thunder. I mean, nothing is. Tropic Thunder
It's a strange gem.
substantially better than this movie.
It came out about 15 seconds before you couldn't do half of the shenanigans they pulled in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. famously does blackface in that movie, something that everybody has forgiven, including all black people and the NAACP.
Yep.
I don't know if that's true. Probably not, but those people don't care that much.
Yeah. Anaconda, decently funny. Sort of a meta comedy about filmmaking in the same way The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was. So I guess this director has sort of a recurring theme.
Yeah.
There isn't actually a lot to say. I mean, it's a competently made movie. There's a lot of licensed music. It's probably the best Anaconda movie, which is a low bar to jump.
Low bar to jump. Yeah, the original wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the sequels.
I haven't either, but judging by the fact that they're sequels to a movie that wasn't very good, that primarily premiered on the Sci-Fi Channel, I have a good feeling I can guess their quality. Yeah, it's decent fun. It's moderately funny. It gets a medium amount of laughs throughout. Nothing gut-bustingly funny like Tropic Thunder, but some nose snorts, some light exhales,
Some goofy little giggles.
a couple little giggles. It's it is what it is. I liked the cameo by Ice Cube, even though it was the exact same as the Return of Xander Cage. They just ripped that scene off.
They pulled it out.
And
the joke is that he's Ice Cube, and he swears a lot, and he's gangster because he's Ice Cube.
Mm-hmm.
And in Xander Cage, it was slightly more serious, but both times he's badass.
He appears at the
Ice
start
Cube
of the
guy.
climax, and then for no reason he just doesn't appear for the rest of the movie.
Yep, it was a cameo.
And then J-Lo also shows up in the post-credits scene, the first post-credits scene. Yeah, it was decent fun. Truthfully, not a lot to say about it. Judging by the title, you can pretty much guess what the movie is. And it's slightly better than what you would guess the movie is, but it's also Anaconda.
Yeah.
So Connor, what'd you think of Anaconda?
I thought Anaconda was pretty good. I expected it to be worse. You can kind of see in the trailer exactly what it's going to be. Where they're like,
Yep.
we're making a movie of Anaconda, but they're like, Anaconda's my favorite movie ever for some reason. And then they go and funny shenanigans ensue.
Yep.
One thing that worried me is that the trailer did show the two funniest moments, which is when they tried to sacrifice Jack Black to survive. That scene pretty much verbatim was sliced in there.
Yep.
Missing
that whole
some
scene's
of the
in
jokes.
the trailer.
And then there was another joke that was in the trailer about Ice. Well, not the joke, but they show the Ice Cube cameo in another one of the trailer TV
really?
spots or something. Yes, and he's like a surprise cameo. The whole joke is that Ice Cube shows up, and they're talking about how they don't know if Ice Cube's in the remake. And then he shows up. So it's like, okay, well...
I know. I was aware that...
And the fact that they showed him made me think he was going to be like a thing in the last third, and they were going to just awkwardly have Ice Cube around and make meta jokes about Ice Cube. But instead he literally shows up for 2 seconds. It's like, why was that in the trailer? Why do trailer houses keep getting away with this? And it was two of the big moments. The fucking Jack Black getting fed to the snake
it's not a very long movie.
would have been the funniest joke in the movie had it been... And
Not
there were
the
like
entire trailer.
there was plenty of material too, or maybe show part of that, but not the whole like fucking gag punchline. Like at least like set it up that like I don't know, but like when everything's kind of the two best jokes or one of the best jokes and like the kind of surprise Ice Cube is here thing is in the trailer. Like there's nothing really to be surprised about, which is always disappointing. Trailer companies keep getting worse and worse, and marketing in general has. But I mean, I guess you have to sell the movie. But Jack Black and Paul Rudd are decently funny. Paul Rudd was pretty good in the first Ant-Man movie because he was kind of allowed to be a doofus, like in his normal movies. He's just weird
everything else
doofus man and everything else. So it is kind of nice. It's sort of refreshing when you see people kind of leave the Marvel plantation, even if they're going to something else. That's like not particularly high art, but it's nice to see people leave the Marvel realm and be able to go back to their old shtick. And I think it was a pretty good, like, goofy Paul Rudd. I think he felt comfortable with the comedy, and it was just nice to not see him in a total CGI hell world. There was a lot of CGI and green screens in this movie, as you'd imagine, but by and large, it was pretty small scale. And I mean, honestly, same with Jack Black. Jack Black does the same shtick, but primarily for like 100% child audiences, and he's forced, contractually obligated to put 3 memes into each movie, 3 memeable moments per movie. I don't know if that's actually in his contract, but it feels like it. So it was nice to just kind of have like that Jack Black 2005 Jack Black is fat man who does X thing.
Yeah.
And then everybody, he does this thing. He's a somewhat serious character, but he's just kind of a goober too, which was the old Jack Black formula. And now he's an ultra fucking goober, and that's his entire character.
Yeah, he's like a real life SpongeBob now.
Pretty much. He is literally like a real life SpongeBob now. And he does great at the box office and stuff. So it is kind of nice to have something slightly smaller scale, something that very slightly lets him have some sort of emotional arc, and it's still like a goober comedy, but there's at least some level of like getting back to basics, getting back to the early 2000s for Paul Rudd and Jack Black, and he kind of shows
the
a
first
mark.
movie they've done together, which feels crazy.
It shows an interesting like kind of thing that we've been seeing in Hollywood more this last couple of years, where and I don't think it's entirely nostalgia, but bringing back like the late 90s and early 2000s genres that have just totally died out. There was this trailer for a movie called The Breadwinner that played before this movie.
Yeah.
And it looked like kind of like a daddy daycare or some shit, where it's like, how is dad gonna handle these kids without the mom, Mr. Mom.
Mom's on an important business trip, so Eddie
Honey,
Murphy
I
has to
Shrunk
take
the
care
Kid.
of him.
Are We There Yet? It's funny enough with Ice Cube.
Yeah.
That was like a genre, and that had gone away. And there's other ones. Everybody did them back in the day.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell had like Kicking and Screaming. There's all sorts
Tim
of them.
Allen probably
Dad is
had
weird.
one.
Dad is weirdo and has to learn to connect with his kids better because he was businessman, but now mom has something going on, so he has to learn to be a better dad.
Yeah.
I learned to do female gender roles, but as man, and learn that as man
Robin
you can
Williams.
be good dad too. Yeah, Robin Williams had a lot of those. And then
That was
you
like
got
his
like
whole career.
you got like Naked Gun and Scream 5 or whatever, or Scream 6 bringing back the slapstick comedy movies. You got, it's just so strange. I feel like for a long time it was like the juice was Marvel and everybody else wanted to rip off Marvel. But when the Marvel bubble collapsed and could barely sustain Marvel, then it became a question of what else can we regress back into. I don't know necessarily if it's a regression. It is kind of refreshing because I feel like there's some movies where it's like, oh, we haven't had one of these movies in a long time. If it came out in 2008, would I have liked this movie as much? I probably would have said it's derivative of like Tropic Thunder or blah blah blah. There's a million examples like it. But the fact that this came out in the year of our Lord 2025, almost 2026, and was just like, felt like such a movie that doesn't really happen that much anymore. I had a pretty good time with it. So I think part of it is just like you kind of got an excuse with these abandoned comedies or abandoned subgenres, genres and feels that are like totally abandoned. And it's been long enough that you can make a new one and people aren't going to roll their eyes because they've watched 6 of them this year. Yeah. I'm starting to feel convinced that if we got a John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell movie today, I might like it. A Judd Apatow comedy with with James Franco, probably Dave Franco, and Seth MacFarlane.
It's time for
Michael
Superbad
Cera.
2.
Yeah, Superbad long con reboot. Michael Cera's 40 years old and he has to get beer for a college party, but he's got restrictions on the back of his license and hilarity ensues. He's got restrictions after too many DUI arrests.
Jonah Hill kept getting him DUIs. It wasn't actually him. He just kept taking the blame.
Oh yeah. There you go. I'm gonna sue anybody who tries to. If Superbad does that in the next year, they make Superbad the long con reboot. You know, he's married to Emma Stone now. Michael Cera. No, divorced. And Michael Cera's got like a 7-year-old, but he's only divorced because Jonah Hill kept messing with him. Kept making him freak out. I'm telling you. I think they could get away with it one time. They could pull one over. Pull the rug over my eyes and hit me with the early 2000s nostalgia.
Step Brothers 2.
Step Brothers 2.
The 63-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
Maybe he loses his virginity in that movie. I've never seen it. Talladega Nights 2.
No, it'll reveal that there'll be a retcon. He didn't come, you know? He didn't come and he hasn't had sex since, so it doesn't count.
Talladega Nights 2.
He's got one last chance before he dies of old age. He has terminal cancer. Okay, what else? Dumb and Dumber or
Dumb and Dumbest.
Dumb and Dumbest, okay. Yeah, I'm with it. Just sell me the shit that you sold me 20 years ago that I forgot about. It's been long enough that you can make a new one and I'll fall for it again.
Ace Ventura 3.
You could probably even go forward a bit. 23 Jump Street could finally happen.
Oh, yeah. After Lord Miller get fired from Spider-Man 3, Spider-Verse 3.
In 2085 when Spider-Verse 3 comes out and they're looking for a new project. I don't know, man. It's coming around. Everything comes around. And I think Anaconda is the case that since this has become fresh despite the fact that there's literally very similar and better movies that came out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Aiden, would you recommend Anaconda 2025?
Yeah.
The silly boot.
It's fun enough. It's dumb fun. Nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly watchable. A little bit silly, a little bit funny. Nice little throwback goober comedy. It's a decent time. Connor, would you recommend Anaconda?
Yes, I would. I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. Obviously, if you haven't seen Tropic Thunder, watch Tropic Thunder, actually. But if you want to see something in theaters that's kind of dumb fun, I don't know. There's worse things. It's only an hour and a half, which is nice, too. It's pretty short, pretty sweet. The pace holds up pretty well throughout, despite being a comedy, which is really hard to do, especially on this type of comedy, where it's like we're going to make 7 or 8 really strong gags and try to build the movie around. You got to catch the momentum at the start and the end, and the middle sometimes gets boring, which is what happened with like Zoolander and Tropic Thunder. This movie does suffer from that a bit, but they did a pretty good job of stretching out the jokes and not making it too boring. So
Yeah.
yes.